88.5 Soufriere FM, and of course, good morning, good morning, good morning. And like I said earlier on, welcome inside of our house guest edition, and it's Wednesday, the 26th day of June 2024. In a house with me virtually is no other than Mr. Callis, King Kakal, of course, Xavier, and well-known artist, I should say, well-decorated artist from the South Calypso Tent. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am hearing you. It's a pleasure to have you join me here this morning. And of course, we know the heat is on, the carnival season is on as well, and we've witnessed some remarkable performances from both tents. But just before we delve into that, just a little bio for persons who are listening to us virtually as well as frequency. Tell us a little of who you are.
Okay. My name is Calix Kakal Xavier. Well, I had to put the artist name in the center because right now I have already registered as that name. King Kakal. Um, I am from the village of Mikod. Presently live in Viewport. I have several hats to wear because I'm multi-talented and I don't let anything stop me, and nothing stop me from getting where I want to get and what I want. And that's what I encourage the youths to do. Be positive and do the right things, not the hype things. I am a police officer by profession. I think a lot of persons know me. Police officer by profession. I'm also an artist, but soca artist, calypso artist also. I sing songs. In the calypso genre. I myself do not. I think from 2002, I first entered the calypso competition, which is the first ever police calypso competition, and I won. In 2003, I went into the police calypso competition where I won, not the police calypso, the national competition where I won with a song entitled Too Long to Come. And that is where I was placed on the national platform where persons heard that song and they say, wow, we should expect more from him. Then I came with that song Shatu. And then I came with that other song right after. And all the songs were just like lashing hard. I came with that other song entitled Kote Kidu, and that was it. From there, pen song. And from the pen song, I went into the Lankaka, blah, blah, blah. I won with that song, and then hits after hits after hits after hits. So that was it for me with the how I became known in the music world. I also did some school calypsos before I joined the police force. I went for Viewport Comprehensive and I was a calypso king for 205 and 206, yeah.
Interestingly, for sure, let me commend your efforts as well. And we continue to see the trend with you, especially with those various genres, and you continue to make waves. Tell us in terms of who inspires you.
Well, it's just what's happening at the time, what's happening in the world at the time. One thing that people cannot run away from is the truth. I clearly recall some guy telling me that, brother, let me tell you something. We should use the truth to make us better, and don't use it like somebody's insulting you or somebody's telling you something to hurt you. Look at what the messenger is saying to you, and if you have to work on yourself, work on yourself. There was this guy who told me that he was by a bar, and he was a police officer, and he's by a bar, and a drunkard watched him and told him, Gasa, ouble di mwen, sell some pop festival so to even wear warm. And the man said, how can a drunkard tell me that as a police officer? He left that bar, he never went to the bar, but right now he has his land, he has his house. And he said that was a wake-up call for him. So that is an example of what I am saying. Sometimes when you speak the truth, it may be hard hitting and people will hear the truth and just sink it in and do what you need to do to get better. Don't take it as an insult or an attack.
Which is true. Which is true as well. I think the critics are definitely what makes us all stronger. And again, it would have to be if you're willing to accept critics and move past it and better yourself. We've seen your performances a little contradictory, if you ask me, in terms of this year with the Screw and among your other songs. Could you care to share with us? Screwdriver, that is?
Okay, I had that song entitled Screwdriver. And we all know what's going on presently in St. Lucia. The stars were aligned, and I say this is the opportunity to write that song. And the song was about a lady called Lucia who's asking me to come to her home to fix up certain things at her home, but the screwdriver is not working. So I'm asking Lucia, where is your husband? Why can't your husband assist you, St. Lucia? Your husband should assist you, but you're calling me to assist you? So then this is why as I was saying, the screwdriver not working. The screwdriver is not working in any and that is not working. So we need to fix it. We need to fix things. The second song was about
Live.
Jack Ask. It is a guy named Jack who was asking several questions around the place about what's happening in the country. And I use that opportunity to highlight certain things that we as St. Lucians, we don't see, because to be honest with you, I believe that a lot of us in St. Lucia, we are just too politically motivated, and we are divided, and we do not see what matters and what is right, what is supposed to happen in the country. So as an artist, I took that opportunity to show them a few things that they would not have seen under normal circumstances. And it really worked, because a lot of persons would tell me, boy, I never saw that, Like one line in the song that I started with, why every time a minister falls sick, they on plane flying to Martinique, and we are left down here for Lazarus or Creek? Why can we as a nation, and it doesn't have to be for any party, because people will always place you to a political party when you speak the truth. Now, let me speak the truth now. That song, I had that song from 2011. Everything that they say about Kakal can stand and debunk what they are saying. They state that I am singing that for the Flambeau Party. That is not true. Because I had that song in 2011 and I placed it on Facebook for them to see. And that song was sung against the very same Flambeau Party that I was in at the time. So when people say that I am singing for whatever party, I'm not singing for no party. I'm singing for my country and the people. We need better health care. And it's like right now people are scared of speaking. They're silent. They feel people will target them. It's a democratic country, and democracy is a responsibility. It was not just given to you. You know how many of our foreparents who died for the freedoms that we are experiencing today, the freedoms that we have today? How many of our foreparents have died for that? And we go back in the very same place and position that they took us out of. We scared of speaking. We scared of saying, hey, this is not right. If I have a friend that does not tell me, Kakal, what you're doing is not right, you're not my friend, because you'll put me in problems one of these days. And I have to drop you. That's the way you assess friends. If a friend cannot tell you, hey, Kakal, you know what you did there. You're my friend, but that's the thing of that. I think what you did there was wrong. You're not my friend. And this is what it is. Persons need to understand. And I placed several things in the song, but I knew that the odds were against me with that kind of song. But what I wanted to create was the impact on the ground, which I got. Imagine yesterday I placed a reel on Facebook and it had 5,000 views. I am chilled. I never saw that before. 5,000 views in no time. Writers across the Caribbean, from Canada, different places are calling me after that performance of the Jack Ask and the Screwdriver. So there is something in it, and I want to tell people in St. Lucia, do not pitch for St. Lucia. The 258 square miles, do not pitch for St. Lucia. When you send in a ball, do not pitch for St. Lucia. Pitch for the international market. Every young person who's listening to that program today, pitch for the international market. Because people in St. Lucia will say, "Monsieur, je ne pas aimer monsieur. Monsieur, bon, mon ticket à la chima l'autre jour, je ne pas aimer monsieur." You don't realize what they did that was wrong, but you have a problem because you're doing what's right. So when you pitch for the world, people on the outside don't want to think of who you gave a ticket. You think the people who are looking into St. Lucia thinking of who you gave a ticket or who's Kakal or who don't like Kakal or who like Kakal? Is what you have to offer. That's what the people are looking for. And this is the way we need to think. Whenever you think for the conference of St. Lucia, you finish, you doom. You have to align yourself with certain people to make things happen for you. And I'm not subscribing to that. I will never subscribe to that. Cabrina, like you're looking at me.
No. I'm saying I agree with you for sure on that note. Let's just take the time to reach out to a few of our online viewers. We have a Bryanson Starkot Solange. Good morning to you. We have Sylvia Flavius. She said so true. And we have Ava Blake, who just, commended. Again, thank you. It's now 20 minutes after 10 to all those of you who are just joining us. Hey, good morning. And I say a special welcome to you. We have in-house the king himself, King Kakal. And you have a very strong message. I have to applaud you on that for sure. And also, with any and everything, I mean, there were always challenges. You mind sharing a few with us? And again, when you, like our dear colleague says, from me down 7 times I get up, So even with the pitfalls and the disappointments, you have to continue pressing on. And how has it been for you as an artist? Maybe just share that story with us as well.
Sabrina, one thing I wanted to say to Lucia, I have placed myself in a position. Where I know that the guns are blazing at me. And I will be who I am, and I answer to no man but the Most High. I answer to God. I answer to the Constitution of St. Lucia, which is the highest law of the land, not to no leader. We are in a democracy, and when we want to highlight our issues that we can voice with respect whatever is going on in the country that you do not like, you must be able to do that. When you cannot do that, you're living in Korea or Russia. That's what you're living in. You're not living in St. Lucia. Our sweet St. Lucia, you're not living in it anymore. So this is why I believe that anytime the voice of the people, if you look at the media, everybody's silent in St. Lucia. Why? Because people are scared of speaking. And you all see what's happening that's wrong. Are you a Christian society for when you see something happening that's wrong, that you will not say that it is wrong? Well, nobody not silencing that voice. Everything that I spoke about in my songs is true. That's why I used the Bible on stage and I told them, hey, but I have faced a lot of challenges. Because the people who want to push certain narratives, they had a fake Facebook page stating that I stole the Jackass song from a guy in St. Thomas. Now, my family told me, do not respond to that, Kakal, because you know yourself. And people could say what they want about me. The only thing they cannot call me is a thief or a dishonest person. They cannot say that about me. I will say clear as it is. They cannot state that about me. And I don't align myself with negative people. I see you negative, I pull myself away from you. So they started, and I know where it came from. It came from the camp. It came from the one of the political camps, where I am stealing a song from somebody in St. Thomas. So what I did, I went back to the police competition in 2011, where I sang that very song as a guest artist. And I placed it on Facebook and say, here is Kakal singing the song that they said he stole from a guy in St. Thomas. The guy sung the song like 4 years after me. But how can I steal the song from him so Kakal can steal in the future? Kakal tell me all, I say all by in the future. I should be given that power. You'll see the amount of things I would steal from the future. All right, I would steal poverty from St. Lucia in the future. I would steal the negative mindsets of St. Lucians. I would steal a lot of things to make St. Lucia better. But let's not go there. So when they did that, I placed it on Facebook. You should have seen. And let me tell you something. I'm so happy that I'm a police officer because I know how to investigate and how to get things. When I placed it on Facebook, all the snakes popped their head under the post. They share it to other people. This is how I was telling you he sang that song already. But the rule states if you have not sung a song in a competition, you can sing that song again. But they thought I'd sing it in the competition. And they sent it to because what they did, the rumor was to put doubt in the judge's head. So they would not send me to the finals. And I was expecting not to go to the finals because of the content of my songs. Right? So this is what it is. That's the challenges that I face. But I always tell them, in spite of I am not reaching the finals or not getting a crown, I am on shows overseas. I'm still booked. I am a ghostwriter. I write for companies all over the place. I write for companies and nobody will know it's me writing these songs. So these are a lot of things going on for me. So they can throw me down 9 times. I'm getting up 10. Because I passed 8 times already.
That's what well said indeed. Position yourself. Where do you see your place in this year's entry? You know, it's a tight competition.
Yeah, well, the results came out for finals, and I was not placed in the finals after such a dynamic performance. And this is what the reel was about. A lot of persons were asking why was Kakal not placed in the finals, right? So that was what the controversy was about. But I knew the odds were against me because of the content of my song. Anytime you would challenge authority, you will get yourself in problems. And let me tell you something. I will speak and I will say whatever I know is right. I am guided by a manual, which is the Bible. I'm guided by that manual. And nobody will make me align with them for their own selfish gains and needs.
I would like to ask you, well, again, we just witnessed what happened, but then tremendous performances yet. But then the final say lies within the judges, the decision makers, and that shouldn't hinder anything.
Yeah, you cannot question the judges. The judges have their decision. But it was very interesting. People need to understand that is not all what you see in St. Lucia is what it is. I clearly recall there was a particular judge who called me on a side once, and I think it was eating up his conscience, and he told me, Kakal, let me tell you something, my brother. Do you know that you were robbed of the road match in 2005? I told him, what are you talking about? He told me, I wrote that result and brought it in, but when it was called, your name was nowhere to be found. So we all know, and let me tell you, it's a small place. And these are the things that you face. But you know, I've always said, the Most High have blessed me. He continues to bless me. And that is my co-pilot. That's who I am with. I am not in the societies. I don't intend to go into the societies. The heart has to be pure and I have to be clean. Yeah, so that's just what it is for me.
Okay. On that note as well, interestingly, could you share with us in terms of your musical projects, what's in the pipeline? Again, you made mention of having several international bookings, and I know, yes, I can attest to that as well. So, because you ensure you always, send me those links and flyers to keep me in the know on that.
But let me tell you, even with the international bookings, so you have to be so careful. Because St. Lucians, I don't even post that on Facebook. Because St. Lucians, I know artists St. Lucians mess up already. Right? Sometimes some of the bookings, they are not like registered with the departments and all these things. Because sometimes a small promoter trying to put up something, when they call St. Lucians for a booking. Which I now make sure that, hey, if I don't have a work permit, I'm not going on that side. I know there are some artists that St. Lucians mess up already like that. So I'm just showing you the society that we live in. You understand? So, yes, I send you anything I send you, you can post it. Because right now I'm making sure that I have my work permits and everything in order, going over there, doing my songs, enjoying myself and coming back. It is something that I like doing. Now, people don't even understand that. I don't go in the competition to win a crown and to get money. I love what I do. Because I took a break out of it and I'm just telling my significant other, When you stop doing what you love, you begin to die. I see you smiling, Xavier. I'm Cabrina. I see you smiling. I said to her, when you stop doing what you love, you begin to die. So that is why I am singing again. That's what I love doing. It's my passion. I love doing it. It's like an artist who loves to paint drawings and all them kind of things. And if he stop doing it, you know how he feels. So
Which
that's
is
part of me. I like expressing myself. So that is why I use the pen and paper and the thoughts. And what it has taught me, this year has taught me that there is no room for creative writing in St. Lucia. I am doing Calypso. And if you look at the genesis of Calypso, the origins of Calypso, it came from the slaves, the cane fields, where the slaves were being oppressed and they sung against the leaders, the masters, the massa, that they used to call them. And these slaves would use their drums around the fire and they would hit the drums and tell people, hey, this is what's happening and we don't like it. Right? And as I said, this is the history of Calypso. And when people down here do not understand that these songs were written so craftily that even the masters will not understand what the slaves were saying. So I will not come and read a newspaper article on stage for you or sing a newspaper article and tell you that's a Calypso. All what I saw there this year was newspaper articles. I will write something very crafty, something that is food for thought. And I can understand why they cannot understand some of my lyrics. Let me throw some lines to you. I was talking about how they give enough meat. They give enough meat. They give enough the meat and they give in view for the bones. They give enough meat and they give in view for the bones. When I use that enough, I'm not just only talking about enough in the cardinal locations. I'm talking about plenty too. You understand? And this is the kind of figure or speeches that you need in Calypso. My screwdriver, screwing up everything. Getting that artistry in play. When the sun aligns with the moon and with certain meteors, you can get this kind of writing. And this is why I'm documenting it, because I'll tell you something. There are a lot of artists who never will recognize whilst they were living or during their time. But afterwards, when people review their work, they said, what? This is what was happening all the time. And that artist was underrated. And then you start to see that person moving up. Look at the American Idol. I think Jennifer Hudson.
yes.
She never won. Who's the biggest artist now? I don't need to win any competition in St. Lucia again, but I will sing from the heart. And they will not control my thinking. Because they're controlled by the outside. You are no longer yourself. You're part of the matrix.
Which is true. And maybe hence with that mentality, you were not even placed in the finals as well because your songs are too contradictory to an extent. Huh? Again, we have Eva Blake. You have never been bent for no political gain, a man who stand with his family and the voiceless, and also for the rule of law. We have McQueen Joseph, be strong, my brother. And Eva did say they did that to Cora Obedi, call immigration on her in the UK. A great interview coming from Mr. Bryanson Solange. Thank you. We have a Delta Bowens. Great job, bro. That's great. Good morning to all my SFM family. My brother is a Calypsonian, just like you. Angus Jean-Pierre, bigger bro, be strong. The messages are outpouring for sure. And I mean, with me being around and having heard a few of your songs, and I think they have dominated the market and with a lot of strong messages as well. The one I love the most for sure, when you put that thing together, was it you had that famous chateau, you know?
Yeah, the Chateau song, yeah.
Yeah, that Chateau song. And again, the messages, it speaks to Guinea Creole and everything else, but then persons, for some reason, always tend to bend, the true meaning of it, associating it with, the mind's always out of the gutter for sure. We've seen a series of calypso shows, especially with the junior calypso. We know this weekend, well, tomorrow for sure. No, I think Friday there is RC, this annual initiative from the RC Boys Primary. Are you lending, support? Do you really partake in terms of scripting those various songs and whatnot for the schools? I mean, tell me exactly your contributions to community.
I have not been doing it with the schools. What I did it with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force for intercommercial, and I
Okay.
stopped. And I will not continue the Royal St. Lucia Police Force anymore. I will not write any more songs so they could go and win. Because you do not get any kind of rewards for these things. It's like you see you work hard all the time, and those persons who do not work hard are those being rewarded. Right? So it is not an environment where you are given an incentive to want to do better. I think 3 consecutive years the Royal St. Lucia Police Force won the intercommercial competition. We had Gilo winning with when I become police commissioner. I assisted in writing that song, and we had 2 times spoiler one. I wrote both of the songs with the assistance of Walston Alfred. I must commend him. That is Wally. And this year I had Nyanja Baptiste with me, and we have some really good musicians. I want to mention Mr. Dyson Inbert. He's the band leader. He had Police Calypso going for so many years. I want to mention Mr. Cornelius Simeon Connie, and even Wilkinson, Tony Wilkinson, who's in charge of the South Tent. Yes, so I want to big up these people. These people have played a significant role in my musical career. Yes, so it is what it is. What I've realized, and people need to understand that for you to make it certain streams in this world, you have to bend. You have to conform. And I think Cat Williams had an interview, and when Cat Williams started speaking about certain things that happened, a lot of people got offended. But it's just the truth. You have to bend. To be aligned and to be on every show in St. Lucia, you need to be aligned with the matrix. You need to be aligned with those people that you will not offend. And even if they do something that's wrong, you need to not tell them that, hey, sir, I think this is wrong. This is marginalizing a few persons. Because I saw something happen in the quarterfinals, which I was really taken aback by. I mean, this young lady sang her song, Now You Missing Shas. And during the competition, the girl was booed off on the stage. I am a stronger artist, and I know how to deal with anybody that booing me in the crowd. If you don't want to listen to me, get out of the place. Right? I am a well-seasoned piece of fish. So persons cannot come and do me them kind of things there. Right? But for her, I know it was disturbing for her. I know she could not have handled the pressure that she was getting. And it was during the competition quarterfinals. Even is the tent, I don't have a problem. 10 peanuts makes the tent. I don't have a problem with that. Don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with that. I like the 10 peanuts during the tents. But when it comes to the quarterfinals, persons come in and jeer an artist on stage, and that's acceptable. That should not be accepted. Every artist that came to sing anything that they perceive to be against what's actually happening right now in St. Lucia were shoved, were pushed, endless things were done to them. And I'm telling you, this was well orchestrated. These people knew what they were doing, like they were paid to do it. Why are you also scared? If you know you're doing nothing that wrong, let artists sing freely. And that is why I'm saying we are no longer in a democracy. We're in a communist country. When you do not have a voice to speak, you are in a communist country. And not over my dead body. That ain't happening. I will say what I have to say, respectfully.
Do you think that much support is being rendered to artists? Most of the time, so we hear that common phrase, you have to dance abroad before you can even dance in your yard. And again, it goes back to give persons the flowers basically whilst they're alive. Pay remarks to their contributions.
Yes, you're correct about that. I don't think much is being done for the artists, and this is I just speaking to somebody about that this morning. I'm saying, but you know, as I went back, and I'm saying, when we had jazz in St. Lucia, there should be probably a local day, a day just for the locals, and you try to give almost every upcoming artist and every artist a blight. It's not about who you align with and who are your friends to give a back money. Every St. Lucian artist deserve a chance on stage. Right now, they have a couple of artists putting on the stage there. And these artists become boring already, because they're on every show. And that's the kind of things they don't like me to say, but it's the truth. They can become boring because they're on every show. You need to be able to bring new talent, and also these artists that you can take from the various communities that people don't see that often. When last have you seen a Ras Africa? There's Ras Africa. Ras Africa have good songs. But watch this. They will tell you what Ras Africa sing lately. But I could ask the very question, what have Barry's Harmon sing lately? Yet you all had him on jazz. Miss Cabrina.
I'm listening to you.
I mean,
Pardon? I'm listening attentively for sure. And I think I understand you to an extent in terms of the comparison of Ras Africa and the berries, but then you have to think of the crowd pleasers as well, who will definitely bring in the numbers that you're looking to attract.
I am not saying that they will not have Berry Salmon on stage like they did. I went to the Berry show. I am simply saying there should be a particular day that they dedicate to the St. Lucian arts. Because you need to understand, during the jazz festival, people come from overseas. You can put one main act among the locals to pull the people forward, but then we have music engineers, all these people that come down here to scout for talent too. And that's what they should use, an opportunity to allow persons to come on the stage so they could expose them to the world. That's my point. I'm not saying anything I'm not saying like they should not bring persons who would be pulling the numbers. And to me, it's not about numbers. It's not about numbers. There are certain times you do things, it's not about numbers, it's about the long term. Because if you have an investment, you have to look at the long term. What you want to gain from it. We cannot have that poor mentality thinking of we want it now. We need to build on it, grow on it, and make it happen. When we're doing scouting for athletes, the very same thing too. And these are the things that I think that our successive governments have not been taken into consideration. You see, sports and arts, they need to put that very, very, very high on their agenda. Because a lot of St. Lucians, including my son, if he didn't have an opportunity through track and field to reach in the Americas, he would have probably been in St. Lucia working somewhere in a shop. But I refuse to let that happen. And I told all my kids already, I'm going to make it uncomfortable for you to live in St. Lucia because that's not the place I want you all to be. You see what I went through in St. Lucia? I don't want you all to go through that. Pitch to the world. Pitch to the world. Send a stone and make sure you try to make it reach America. Don't send it in the water in Miku. When you send in your stone, send it up high. Fly high, but don't fly too close to the sun because you might die.
Agreeing, if that's your mantra. The other thing, I just want to ask you individually, how everything is a balance for sure. See, you as a police officer and you as a Calypsonian, what really works for you,
Let me tell you something. I don't like going that direction, but you have to give people their flowers. Well, who you see standing in front of you there, sitting on the podcast there with you right now, is there's a strong woman standing behind it, right? And I want every male to understand that you have to give women the due props in society. They put you together. There are times I find it, people who ask me, how are you getting the time to do all what you're doing there, my brother? But you know what keeps you focused? Your family. And that is why for a couple of years I did not sing. I was not part of on the stage really singing actively. Because there are certain things that you need to put together. Some of the affluent persons of society, they have a plan for their life, which is good. We need to have the same thing for our lives too. What we want to see for our kids. Because for me, where I was raised, I don't want to repeat the very same pattern onto my kids. I want my kids to be 100 times, 100% better than I am. And I think I'm the only genuine person that wants that to happen for them. Probably the other half, the other parent will want to see that. But for me, I want to see that for them. I will stand with them. I will be there with them for the rough waters and to make sure that they reach where they're supposed to reach. Not saying that I'm giving them a easy pass, because they need to understand what the world is. And most times we have discussions about what's happening, like what happened to me in the semi-finals. And I tell them it's not a perfect world. It is not a perfect world in St. Lucia, especially in St. Lucia, it's not a perfect world. And this is what you need to understand. When the president comes in a press conference, any citizen can, they say it's a democracy in America, a citizen can take a mic and ask him a question, and you think the president will look at that citizen and say, I'll fire that man, or I will take off that man from that day, or prevent that man from getting certain government support or whatever? The president don't have time for that. But down here it's different. So that's why I'm telling them, what you'll need to do is not to pitch down here for St. Lucia. St. Lucia has what really baffles me, sometimes you travel to the metropolitans and when you come back into your own country, you say, what? We're 30 years behind. And what? But how can a leader come on television and speak that way to the people and fool the people? We went to, that was 3 years ago, I was in England, and we going through the cashless queues for groceries and different things. I was just laughing. I was saying to myself, oh dear, you think solutions are ready for them kind of things? You don't think half of the things coming out of the bag, they're happy for it? Or something so? And it's not something where you look down on your people, but are they prepared? Who's preparing them for that? Right? Cashless systems. The bus system we have in St. Lucia, I've always said that needs to be scrapped. But who has the strength enough to go and say, well, let us change the bus system. Let us have buses running until 10 p.m. Who will do that? But if they're going to do that, they'll lose votes. Or even one man taking the action, make sure that you don't have him aligned to anything, because they will say it's that party that do it or that party that do it. But they don't see the better good for the country. And that is my problem down here. They don't see it. And we'll continue remaining that way and we'll be spinning in mud. And as for the police force, I will not speak about it because I am speaking in the capacity of an artist. But there is so much that can be fixed and it's not being fixed. One of the things I've spoken about, I think, you see that discretion thing? You take supposed to by discretion, sir, by police. Because okay di moun sa se moi kite moun sa passe because moi kwa se ça mais moun se femme ou moun se Jean. So a lot of things need to be changed, and I've always said when it comes to monetary penalties for certain things that are happening in this country, I think there should be something else attached to it. Let me give you an example. Let's say I've given you a ticket for parking the wrong place. You know, it's only the poor people who adhere to that because they don't have the money to pay and it will hurt their pockets. But it doesn't hurt the rich person. Huh? The person that pack, they don't care. Because now she's pack la, the police have minimum bond $150 or $200 a month to pay. But if they had some system where they would take off points off their license, you would see if it's not across the border. So we need to think, we need to revisit things, stop leaving things the same way. And I strongly believe a lot of our leaders are lazy. And the reason I say that they are lazy is because they do not want to effect change. Because change comes with a lot of, if you have to effect change, it comes with a lot of, you have to exert a lot of energy and resources to make it happen. So say Sam, when just that's the thoughts that come from my head when I think and I see certain things. Are we prepared? We are like 40 years behind time, behind what's happening in the world. And I know we have some brilliant minds down here who can make things happen, could create an impact, make things different. But the powers that be, their bread is being buttered and they love it. They love it to remain that way.
What I can say is, well, first of all, let me say thank you for your contribution. I think let it be a start today. I mean, you can take the bull by the horn. You have some sort of authority as well. As little, that can be changed. Let it start with you. And I think too oftentimes we tend to take a back seat and allow for the politicians, allow for the police to come in to make the difference as well. Just train a little. We see what is happening in Viewford for sure. And then in your capacity, I mean, we cannot allow for the police to do everything as well when we have some of the perpetrators and people are aware of it, but yet still they are refusing to speak as well. Viewford has always been the hot spot. For now, maybe there is some sort of semblance, but then again, we continue to see the trends of what's happening.
I think my song, the last line of my song, I sang a part where I'm saying, in theory, they say we must trust the science, but in practice, there is no compliance. The stats will show Viewford is a crime zone, but they give enough meat while they giving Viewford the bones. With no projects to bring any employment, they keep lying in Parliament. Jack say Kakal hit them hard in song to help save this island. When you have a country and everything revolves around the north, what do you expect to happen in the areas where they feel less? How would I put it? The most deprived areas. How you think they will feel, and what you think will happen there? Where are the projects to bring employment down in the south? To say every child would go there and they would be able to get something to do. And I have said, and I speak to my people on the ground, I tell them all the time, people, you need to stop relying on politicians for a gas tank.
True.
And 2 pounds of sugar from them, because that's what they like. Go and read, take a book. Instead of you accepting the tank of gas from them, go take a book and read. Open your minds to see how these people have you in slavery. Because they do not want you to be self-sustainable so you don't depend on them. Every year you have to go back to them. You have to continue going back to them. And until St. Lucian's, one of the scariest things I believe for any leader, and I'm not mostly, we have good persons. Let me just clear that. I don't think I'm talking about all leaders. We have some very good leaders, but those who are very deceptive. I am saying that one of the greatest fears is a well-educated citizenry, because they can read through their life quickly and they can tell you, sir, I don't subscribe to that. I think you're being very dishonest and deceptive.
Okay. Just your comments on something that was shared. McAfee Sean Remy, Jack asked why you didn't make it through, shaking my head.
that man will be a writer soon, because he's using the very same words. Yeah.
Yeah, and he commented again that cycle needs to change, and again to foster change. Sometimes we may have to, like I did say, to take the bull by the horn as little as it is to effect that change that we want to see. And again, politics continue, to play a major role in workplaces, especially we see a lot of politics as well, and it shouldn't be that. And even in schools, sometimes it's being depicted with the children blatantly telling you the parent says this, that, and whatnot. And sometimes it puts a damper and it affects productivity overall.
Yes, that is true. It's very true. It's entrenched in almost every sector of society. And we need to stop looking for political lenses because some of the things that I pointed, as I said in the song, a lot of persons, and I really want to take that opportunity to thank persons who have supported me throughout the season. Um, my reels, my songs, they're going viral. I want to thank persons, and it's not only in St. Lucia, persons from Canada, and I'm getting a lot of followers and invites and so many things. I want to thank St. Lucians who I know because it's not only me, I mean, they're sharing it and it's reaching places. So I want to thank them. I also got one writer from Canada who wants to meet up and for us to have some things going. So this is what it is. As I said, it's not about the competition. Yes, it is true that um, your fans will want you to reach the finals. They will probably want you to place or win the crown, but it's not about that. Because let me just go back to some of the biggest artists. And I think Edison John, I was having a conversation with him like two days ago, and he was speaking about what the competition does. You realize so many years he has not been competing. He's just releasing a song. And, everybody have the take on it. I agree with all what he was saying. And he actually commended me because for how long you have not seen me in my space, and doing what I'm supposed to do. And as I said, thanks to my other half, my family, persons who support me, that is what brought me out to perform the way I performed at the semifinals. I felt so good coming off the stage and delivering. I felt so good. But I said to myself, you have performed to reach the finals, but accept that you may not make it to the finals because of the content of your song. Because I saw all what was happening before I even came to the semifinals, with all the rumors spreading on Facebook and all these things. And I know it was an attack. Some guy who's something close on Sovac, which I did my investigation and found out who it was. It's a political hack from the SLP party who went and put a video of me against another video stating that I stole a song that I sang before the guy who sang the song. So then again, I was telling St. Lucians and a lot of people, y'all see how y'all are fooled because some of y'all believe it before I debunk it. Y'all believed it. So that is why y'all need to do your research when y'all hear a politician come in or a leader come in and talk and stating that they're doing this, they're doing that. Go and do your own research because they are very good at manipulating things. They are very deceptive. So I do not take it at word value. I always go, do my little research on it, and move forward. There are some hard and bitter pills to swallow that people don't talk about. You see, when you have something in paper, theoretically it sounds so good. Bring it on the ground, it's a different ball game. Right? So some other people, they will talk about one of the things I really have a problem with is gender equality when they speak about gender equality. I have a serious problem with that. Why gender equality is not across the board? Sabrina, I'm asking you that question. Do you believe that if we speak about gender equality, we can take off every man in Soufriere and the infrastructure of Soufriere will run the same way?
It wouldn't.
From 7 to 54.
It
just,
wouldn't.
just,
It
just
wouldn't.
the women in Soufriere to run Soufriere. Do you believe it will run the same way? I'm asking you that question.
I doubt it will for sure because, again, the female's perspective and the male's perspective would somehow differ, but then you need both of the ideas to come together to have a final product, a remarkable product as well. So both ideas and both masculinities or feminities are needed as well for smooth transition in everything.
Thank you very much, because I just stated that who you see here today is my other half that supports me to be who I am. I am saying to you, a lot of the workforces that we have, some of them, they are a little more physical in nature. So obviously, what gender would you use in these workforces? I'm asking you a question. If it's more physically inclined. Okay, let us look at the police force, for example. Do you want to go and take three fellas in a house with 4 firearms? Who you sending and take it?
Definitely a male police officer.
Oh, now they're calling on the males. So why, when they're recruiting, they want to recruit same amount of males and females?
It's a balance as well.
When would you need the females? Tell me.
The females are basically, I think you can do females for traffic officer. You can do females as well to hold basically those leadership roles like a commissioner, like we have the women special police constable and those sort of thing.
But Sabrina, that is why I'm telling you again, I'm going back to that very same point. It is only selective.
It is. It is. It is, but then this is where things can be altered, changed by going back to the drawing board and then having
Back?
consultations. I mean,
Are we back?
yeah, we are. I think having
Hello?
consultations. I can hear you clearly. Um,
Hello?
Consultations are needed. Yes, you hear. I'm hearing
Hello?
you. You hear. You hear. You hear.
I'm not hearing
Consultations
you.
are needed. Yes, I'm hearing you clearly. You there? Hi,
Yes, I'm not hearing. I don't
and
know
I'm
what's
hearing
going
you.
on.
It must have dropped on your end, but I'm hearing you. Yes,
Uh,
like I did say, it must have been a drop on your end. So, so of your
yes,
connection.
I'm not hearing you. I don't know what's going on,
I'm
but I'm
hearing you
not
loud.
hearing.
I'm hearing you loud and clear. Um, I'm hearing you loud and clear. If it's something you're sorting out, meanwhile, we have some comments coming in as well.
I'll have to leave and come back.
Alan Amede, thank you so much for your contribution. What does this question have to do with gender equality? It's a reality, not a concept for sure. I at this time I want to really commend persons who are sending in, their comments. We appreciate that as well. Just a glitch, with our connectivity, but our guest is gonna be right back. We're also looking at time. Oh my goodness, it is now 2 minutes after the hour of 11 a.m. That is in Surface and Ocean, the Eastern Caribbean. It has been a very interesting discussion, and I guess I lost track of time as well. But back in a moment, and we're going to get ready for our final comments. But really and truly, I saw his performances and I think they were greatly executed. But then, looking from my pair of glasses to the judges as well, it would definitely be of a different view. Other persons can obviously share in that sentiments as well. And politically, we are, divided. Politicians continue to divide the masses, and some of us are so blind, that we don't even have a voice for ourselves. We let the politicians or a lot of persons in authority to dictate, everything for us, which is just so sad. I will continue to speak without stepping on toes. If something is wrong, it's definitely wrong, and you need to call it out as well, and see how best it could be corrected moving forward. I think that's how, if we have to look at a smooth transition, if we have to look at comfort, we need to be able to speak about certain things and do not let people just push things down our throats just because they're in some sort of position to say, I am who I am and I have the right to and whatnot. I think it's just too sad. Let me see if are you ready to join us right here? Are you back with us nicely? Can you hear me? I was just filling in the void for you.
Can you hear me?
Nice, loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes. Basically, before the glitch, I did reiterate we need to sadly move away from the politics as well in order for us to see smooth transition in everything as well. And a lot of the times, those at the top tend to belittle, if I were to say, persons, especially shoving things down your throat and just thinks it's acceptable. But just because you're a hierarchy or you're a manager, certain things, if it's wrong, you have to be able to call it out discreetly, respectfully as well.
Yes, you are so correct. I've seen a lot of that happening. But this speaks a lot of it speaks volumes of people. Huh? Sometimes you'll be in a workplace and one person um would bully somebody else, and then nobody says anything. Me, that's not my business. Huh? Back and forth, come with us, huh? And you ask yourself, are these people really genuine? Are they Christians? What type of people have we become? We as a people should be able, and this is where we came from. I clearly recall in the I am like 46 years. And if you did anything on the road, somebody would call your mother and tell your mother you did something that was wrong, and you have to be scared when they call your mother and tell your mother. Another grown up call your mother and tell your mother you were sending stones in a tree or something, or you knocked a child or you did something. That's you trouble. Eh?
Which is true. I think we've lost that culture of letting the community raise a child or being your neighbor's keeper as well.
Yes. So with that being said, a lot of things are not happening. They are wrong. A lot of things that are happening, they are wrong. And people stand by people in authority like they're scared. What did you get your position for? To effect change. So that means you are non-entity. You are not doing anything. You cannot effect any change. You are not making anything positive happen.
That is the highlighted word,
Problem.
positive, positive. Because sometimes, yes, changes can be negative and positive. So if you want to foster, it has to be positivity, for efficiency, productivity, and overall, you have to look at the well-being of citizens as well. Someone said our society is in such of a bad state, and our leaders must take the responsibility for that.
Well, we too have to take responsibility for that because we were just speaking about it there, Sabrina.
Yes, yes.
We do not talk. We do not. We do not articulate our voices and say we do not like that. That should change. People need to understand. As the citizens of the country, we elect the leaders. So the leaders work for us. You employ the leaders. Every time you go to that ballot box and you put an X, you actually employing somebody. The person is working for you. So the person is supposed to work for the country across the board. And this is why things like education, healthcare, every citizen must get an equal opportunity of fairness in such departments. It's not people that have money that should be able to go to the hospital. Every citizen should be given an equal opportunity of fairness in such departments.
Which is true, and it's been made, I think, a bit more affordable for persons in terms of the universal health care for persons who are maybe just underprivileged. But even using that term underprivileged, there was a scenario where something did happen, and I said, but as if um, that particular person should be given the priority because they're underprivileged for sure. And then no, somebody turned back and said, like, really? What makes you think that person should be given because they're underprivileged? But when you look at it, everybody is underprivileged to an extent. And I said, really? I said, why? And they said, yes. And then, some points were being labeled and everything. But I'm not in a position to, table that for discussion. But then the person did share that everybody is underprivileged. But really and truly, St. Lucia is a beautiful place for sure. And as minus police, but as artists, we do not want to stray too much. But as artists, a lot of the messages are in the songs, and then they can foster effective change as well. But we tend to extract, the positivity in the various messages and clone that individual, and highlight all the negative aspects of it. And again, the comments are coming in, why that song did not make it, and stuff, the jackass and all of that sort of thing. But then again, the messages are always there, positively to impact a nation, to impact individuals as well. And even you can attest to songs can make a change, especially from the grassroots level, to effect positive change in individuals, especially our young ones.
Let me tell St. Lucian something. I wanted to say that those who are asking why the song didn't make it, I know the song would not make it. The content of the song, on the night, there were certain persons who were commenting on the live, and some person who's probably listening to me could attest to that, commenting on the live, saying that's their song for the year, big up Kakal, whatever, King Kakal, whatever. These comments were deleted or they never reached the platform because the live was being controlled. And a lot of things happen in St. Lucia. We are not aware of it, but it's happening. The guys are actually controlling the lives. Like what you doing there with me, probably if they knew that I was doing it and you had a very wide audience and you had already advertised that and they know I'll be coming and people will be hearing certain things from me, they would have probably messed up the internet system, do something. And that's the way they operate.
So you think that's what happened shortly with the internet being messed up?
You will
Just
be
having
surprised.
that. So
You'll be surprised how they can get it done. Interfere with your lives. They can do that.
we are at 11 after 11. Let's look at, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's look at in terms of the structure, tent structures. Do you think, in your opinion, what would you, if you were to, what would you like to see being implemented, way forward and stuff, for if it's the scoring of the artists, if it's in terms of artist involvement, if it's the exposure, as well as, like you made mention, not just St. Lucia when you're doing something, but for the wider, the international world as well, positioning yourselves. What can you learn to that? Again, we're looking at tent and the structure.
Okay, Tent. One of the things that came out of my discussion yesterday, I spoke to a seasoned person was also judged, and he said that the judging system that they have is not the right one. What they do, they score you probably 7 judges. They take out the highest point and the lowest point, and then you are judged 100 marks overall, and then you'll be given a score. Do you know that both of the songs that I sang, I got the same score?
Did you question it?
I don't have to question it. Judges' decisions are final. You have to just accept it. But that my song has not ended there. I'll be placing it on Facebook. I'll be dropping it on the internet, YouTube. A lot will be happening with my music. They can't silence it. They'll silence it in the competition, but not out there. The other thing too, what he was saying is that they need a ranking system where the chief judge would look at the performance for the night and all the judges would agree as to who was the most dynamic, and it will come down in a wrong structure. Because the style of judging that they have now, what is happening, persons who never sung to be in the finals would make it to the finals. Because what you would do, okay, Kakal came to sing, you gave Kakal that score. You don't even remember what score you gave Kakal. But the other person came to sing after Kakal, 3 persons after Kakal, and you forgot what you gave Kakal. So you might even give that person more points than Kakal, where Kakal was more dynamic than that person. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Because let me tell you, the judges are human beings too. But if you have a rank structure where the 6 judges will come together and said, and they're saying that Minel was the most dynamic, and to me, it was followed by Solange, and then I think Kakal came there, and that, and that, and that, and that. Everybody could agree to it and say, yeah, man, because of this, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. They would be able to give judging. That person who spoke to me about that judging system is being used across the Caribbean.
Okay.
And he assisted in putting the whole thing together. So at the end of the night, you will not get somebody saying, "Garçon, missy possible to get just have all and they send stones at that person and all them kind of thing." You will not get that because everybody will agreed that person was the most dynamic performer for them. That person. So that's one of the things I could see that should change. But I was out of the season. I was out of the Calypso for a while. There were a few positive things I could remark on that, because sometimes people hear you speak and they think it's just a negative alone you're highlighting. The payments, they were done on time. I think the time frame was okay. And the people, they recognize your rank as an artist, because they told me that artist, such and such an artist like me, who have won 2 crowns and I'm a dynamic, I travel all the time, perform in different places. That is my payment for per song.
I'm listening. Hi.
And then the other artists who have never.
Let me just see. I think we're having a bit of an internet difficulty. Mr. Xavier. 16 minutes after the hour of 11 a.m. And again, I want to make an apology. We're just having a bit of an internet interruption, trying to resolve at the soonest. Mr. Xavier. Mr. Xavier, I think I've lost you for a little bit. Yes, I think I lost you for a little bit. I lost you. On your end, I think you should check your connection. Just want to apologize to my listening audience. These things don't happen for sure, but we're trying our best to correct it as soon as possible. Are you back with us? I think the weather is also putting a damper on things as well. We're looking to end the discussion nonetheless as well. I think it's fitting I run a commercial break. We will be back shortly.
Welcome to Youth Voices with your host, Miss Edisa Eugene, where the beat of the next generation resonates. Tune in every Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for a dynamic blend of ideas, passion, and energy. Unleash the power of youth perspective. Don't just listen, be part of the conversation that shapes the future. Youth Voices, igniting change one voice at a time. Are you ready?
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best.
You asked for more live and relevant talk shows, and we heard you. 88.5 Soufriere FM presents House Guest, a brand new fresh fortnightly feature airing on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. House Guests will showcase a cadre of professionals, from doctors and entrepreneurs to the next door friendly neighbor. So tune in as we network the community with a platform for open, frank, and informative discussion. Only on Soufriere FM, your community radio station.
88.5 of FM, and of course, we're back. I just want to apologize for the breaking intermission as well as we continue the discussion. Of course, we have Mr. Xavier back with us. Thank you so much. Can you hear me, Mr. Xavier?
Can I hear you
Yes.
clearly? Am I
Can
back?
you? Yes, we're back on nice and sweet. I did make an apology. I think too oftentimes the internet is putting a damper on things and on, this line of communication as well. As we were rightfully looking at in terms of the tents and the structures you made mention in terms of the scoring, in terms of did you touch on the exposure? You also spoke on in terms of the payment as well, which has been seen as a good thing where persons are basically getting paid on time, with getting paid on time with no delays from the powers that be. Mr. Xavier, hi. Ew, is it the internet putting a damper again? Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I
Can you hear
can.
me?
Yes, I can definitely
Yeah,
hear
but I'm
you.
not hearing you. That's the thing.
I'm hearing you loud
Let me
and
go
clear.
back down, go back up.
Loud and clear, loud and clear. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, that's just technology.
As of anything else, we cannot run away from it.
Let me get off. Let me get off and come back in.
In the meantime, let me reach out again to all those of you who have sent in your comments. We do appreciate very much as well. Beyond our control, the judges would always have the final say. If you ask, a lot of persons is asking in terms of why he did not make it to the finals. Again, politically, it is sad, that decisions are made based on such. Ashley, yes. Alan Amede, we reach out to you as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Nice. I was just sharing in the comments. We have Hippodemus, Demas, mixing politics, Alan Amede, the values of the community, was lost. Again, we have spoken in length with a few addressing from not just a uniform entity, which is the RSLPF, but solely as an individual as well. And a Calypsonian, there were a lot of hidden clause and issues that persons refuse, or I wouldn't really say they refuse, but then in terms of not wanting to bring it to the forefront by way of being, politicized and even attacked as well.
There was a particular artist this year. I want people to go back and look at Ocean after
Yes.
after she
Yes.
the what she said after she sang. I've grown past that because I've been in it for so long, and we went through the challenges when Ninja Dan, myself, Nicole David, when we had to fight the soca mafias.
Yeah. I checked the tickets, the envelope, this one. Your office is terrible, man. Yeah, seriously, your office is terrible. You're gonna get sick. I just walk in there and I can't even breathe properly. Oh, sorry.
Leave it open.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry about that.
These things do happen for sure. You were saying,
Yes,
Fortune.
Ocean. We saw what she said after she sang, and let me tell you, this is what happens when you are voiceless. When
That's
you
it.
cannot.
That's easy. That's easy.
Okay. Thank you. So just having to send a good review. Yeah. So So as I was saying to you, this is what happens when people cannot speak out and say exactly what is happening to them, what they're feeling. So you could see like that to me, that artist was stifled. They want to see something to improve, but it cannot happen. And she said, I think, to the effect that until things get better, she will not be coming back on stage to sing. And it is so sad. It is very sad. People do not understand the amount of effort that artists put in their rehearsals, in the writing of the songs, and the amount of investment, the monies that they spend in making that happen. People do not have the slightest clue. Even the sacrifices they in their family time, and probably if you're in a committed relationship, the sacrifices that you make to be on stage and to come out and sing. A lot of it is underestimated. That's the problem.
Which is true as well. I could agree with that. 25 minutes after the hour, in terms of moving forward, what would you like to see happen for your colleagues as well in the creative arts? I mean, in terms of the various calypsonians.
Yes, well, we in it together. We've taken some bold steps in creating certain avenues so we could come together as a body to fight for the plights of artists, but the same artists stabbing themselves in the back, because what they've done to us as artists is to create a level of competition, to create division. So most artists always believe they're 10 times better than the other artists, or they want to be on that show so they cannot speak. They want to be aligned so they won't speak, and they'll do this and that. They'll be the nicest boy in the area or the nicest girl in the area for people to like them, right? So this is what's happening. So most of the artists, they need to come together. They are too divided. So that is why they have been taken advantage of. That's the way I see it.
Which is true. Thank you so much for that contribution as well. Anything you would like to leave with? Sadly enough, but like you said, that doesn't end here as far as you did not qualify for the finals. But in terms of your colleagues, what encouragements would you like to really put out there for them for the finals and even moving forward as well? We are yet to see a successful, season for 2022. How also do you want to end?
Okay, my colleagues who are making it to the finals, I wish them the best, all of them the best. Remember, music is a mission, not a competition. When you go out there, be true to the people, do what you're supposed to do without any fear, favor, or prejudice. Go out there, do what you're supposed to do as an entertainer. You are not aligned to anybody. And if you see something you want to speak about, you want to point in song, that's what Calypso is about. Go about, get it done. Right? And not to be apologetic about it. I know some persons are not that strong. They will succumb to persons probably talking about them or saying something. So I can understand that. But at the end of the day, always remember whatever you do on this earth is documented. And you do not want at the end of your life that you don't have a legacy to stand by. Right? And a good one at that. So you as an artist, as I said, it's been documented. Everybody's seen what you do, how many years. You can, the internet, if the world have to continue for another million years, I think the internet will be even more refined, where somebody could go into 2024 and see a song that Kakal sang. You understand? So document your life properly. Do the right things, not the hype things. I want to thank are we about to close, Miss Cabrina?
We can do it for the midday period if you wish. It's 11:40. Have any other talking points?
Yes, because one of the things I really want to touch on with music and what's happening in St. Lucia right now, I strongly believe that a couple of years before, we were more impactful. We stood out in the Caribbean as a force to be reckoned with. And let me bring that to your attention. When 2007, 2008, 2009, when Ricky T sang Pressure Boom, That was the stepping stone into the international realm. Persons saw Ricky T at Madison Square Garden. I performed in a place called Wet Fet CPAC. That was in Brooklyn too. I had several shows up in the UK, the US, Canada, yes, across the Caribbean, several other shows there. And artists from the other Caribbean used to come down to St. Lucia to record, because that was the new frontier for songs, for music. So I don't subscribe to people talking about the music now is better. Stats don't lie. Stats don't lie. As far as I'm concerned, we didn't have the internet to go out there and to post and to meet people. So that is the difference now. They have better tools that they could use, artists can use, to put out their music and to get to people and to make things happen. So I think artists should take that platforms that they have, these benefits that they have, and run with it. Because we have none of that in our time. We were just introduced to it a couple of years ago.
Okay, nice. Also, going back to where you made mention of the royalties as well, it is something I think that should be up for consideration.
Yes, royalties from radio stations. A lot of the radio stations do not pay royalties to artists. They play the artist songs and they do not pay echo for playing the artist. And I want to ask the radio stations to.
I'm listening to you. Go ahead. Go ahead, please. Up here. Ooh. Go ahead, please. Again, I want to take the time to apologize. Disruption in our internet connectivity. I think this will suffice for a short commercial break before we get back into the final comments and ending today's discussion. Oh, okay. You're back. There is no output. I will use this opportunity to take a commercial break. We will be back shortly.
Parents and guardians, the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation is thrilled to announce the launch of our 2024 Scholarship and Bursary Program. Do you have a child in primary, secondary, or tertiary level education, even university? This is your chance to help them receive financial assistance for their education. To apply, you'll need a few important documents: your child's book list, a needs assessment, their report book or grades, 2 reference letters, and photo ID. Remember, the deadline for applications is 26 July 2024. Don't let your child miss this fantastic opportunity to secure their educational future. For more information, visit our SRDF social media pages or contact the SRDF office at 459-7200. Together, we can make education accessible for all our children. Apply today and let's build a brighter tomorrow for Soufriere's youth.
Isa douek, Pasha, nou ka kouye tout Saint-Misye. Nou vle ou point attention ou nation a.
PBF, Performance-Based Finance, yon program hod ministre de santé qui ka mette attention à sous affaires pour tuer service assessment et traitement pour maladie pisadou et pour maladie pressure en santé. PBF a commencé pour tuer service ça là en 8 santé. La quoi Jacmel, Richefort, Mopo, Derissou, Lafargue et puis l'hôpital d'Henry ex Soufriere. Deuxième phase programme ça là qu'a continué dans centre santé Lanslawe, Canawi, Vanna, Fonce-Jacques, Montrouge, Delcé, Itan, Mikou et Tirocher Mikou. Moun qui ja 18 l'année de l'âge et depuis ou ka reste prêt à dans commune ça là, ça joine service ça là. Ou aussi pani pour payer pour service ça là. PBF qui a assuré qui ou joine quality service pour maladie pisadou et maladie pressure dans un bon standard.
Pisadou et pressure. Au nation a.
Put that down, okay?
Occasionally, parents crave a break, and Massey Stores is here to make it happen. Shop with us for a chance to win the Great Escape for moms in May and dads in June. Moms, imagine a luxurious night for two at Rabot Hotel with a floating breakfast, tour, and sumptuous market-style lunch. Dads, get ready for a thrilling adventure with 4 friends and refuel with a hungry dad snack on us. Swipe your Massey card and enter with every $100 spent. Massey Stores, our family serving yours.
NTRC comprend significance là internet là ni à sous la vie chaque citoyen. Si ou bien servi internet là, ça peut ouvrir un grand chemin pour ou apprendre faire musique bagay pour aider situation ou et puis famille ou. Quoi, pas servir internet là seulement pour plaisir parce que ça pas qu'à mettre l'argent en poche. Quand tu un bagay pour aider corps et aller à son internet là ni toute qualité bonne information. Internet là ça change la vie, mais décision ça là c'est ça ou seulement. La terre a changé vitement et ou ni pour changer aussi. Apprendre servir internet là qu'a commencé aujourd'hui même. C'est pour ça NTRC a assuré service là tout partout et qu'il a pour nous toutes.
South FM, and of course, we're back inside with the continuation of our discussion. If you're just joining me here, we have King Kakal with us. We're just getting ready to wrap up. Welcome back inside, Mr. Xavier.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome back inside.
Good morning. Hope that you're having a blessed day.
Definitely, as we get set for lunch, it's been a very interesting conversation thus far. I must applaud you and all your fans. Definitely, everything is outpouring from where I am. The comments nice and sweet, and persons are asking for a teaser. So I think by right, this is where you can introduce them to, your Jack Ask song.
Okay, let me do a little piece for them. I'll do it a cappella because I don't have the music playing in the background, which I thought you'd have. Guys, I sent it to you. Okay.
Go ahead, please.
My buddy Jack left the constabulary, gone to UE to obtain a PhD. Papers in hand and determination. Yes, Jack returned to his motherland. For the things Jack see, he could not believe. For the country, he started to grieve. Dial my number, and suddenly, these are the questions Jack asking me. Jack asks, why every time the minister falls sick, they on plane flying to Matnik, and we are left down here for Lazarus or Creek? Why a poor man thief for bread and run? The court call for execution, while politicians free thieving plenty millions. Jackass, why you tie the hands of police? You say now where the dogs that were trained to sniff, and you replace it with no experts in ballistics. Jackass, why? Jackass, why? Jackass, why? The whole of the country, they want to know. Tell me why. Tell me why, Jackass. Yeah, so that's what it is, the first verse and chorus.
Nice. Strong message indeed. I can definitely say, Jackass, why the internet just keep dropping and we're doing nothing to stop it?
We spoke about it already. I tell you, when you see these things happening, sometimes it just happen just so.
Not, not. I don't think so. Not on this platform.
Huh?
It's now no, not on this platform. Jack asked why it is now 20 minutes moving over to the hour 12 midday. So for solution, the Eastern Caribbean, there was a change. My throat is just irritated me at that very moment. I'm trying my best, like not to like cough. Suddenly, the atmosphere, like your colleague did mention, the equality of those sort of things. So it's kind of just affecting me at this very moment.
Y'all got that on the live too. Sorry about that.
Um,
But we have to.
you, how would you like to end? I must say gratitude to you. When I did reach out, you never hesitated for sure. I know you're really busy. What you did say to me in terms you were trying to make your get your things together for your showing at the semifinals, and you did splendid from what I saw by all accounts as well. The show itself was greatly executed. The crowd was a mass. So it all in all, I can say it was good.
Yes.
Um,
What I want to say to St. Lucians, thanks for the support. In a long time, I've not felt so much support from St. Lucians from both here and out overseas, and also the wider world. Linking for St. Lucians, just going through the internet. It means a lot to me. I'll always be the person that I am. I do not want to be the line of anybody. The truth must prevail. We have to just be. When I've always said, when you look at where we were and where we are now, much further, we could have been much further. So at the end of the day, I want to encourage people to stay positive, stay around positive people, do positive things, and you must get a positive outcome. Do the right thing, not the hype thing. You will get persons, and if you have friends that cannot tell you when you do wrong, you need to start checking your friends. That at the end of the only time you know when you have friends is when you're down and you need help. You see how many persons run into a system. So this is what I have to say to Saint Lucia and Soufriere. It's a place that I love a lot. I worked there. It was really a pleasure working there. I met some really fantastic people in Soufriere. Must say that occasionally I still come down there and I still feel the petals and the back like enter. So thanks again. I meet them in Viewport sometimes. So I think I'll down to you what I meet there. Yeah, so it's always nice to meet positive people. You also, Miss, I want you to continue doing what you're doing. I think it's a really good platform for Soufriere people to have that opportunity to have the house guests and different people to hear different perspectives, and what it's advertised as is so good that where persons could come and speak frankly and speak about what affects them in society. That's a really good platform, and it goes in sync with what I'm trying to speak of. It's a democracy, and we need to have this. That persons could come and speak about what affects them. Wonderful discourse. Probably we'll have to introduce something like that.
Thank you so much for that. Again, thank you. It definitely means a lot. Let me say kudos to my team as well, management especially for their support, social media as well. Thank you so much for that, and our listeners as well. The contributions, continue to be very valuable in chanting for us the way forward as well, and even the various guests that we do have coming through on that various platforms as well. It serves, as education purposes for us as well, and even for them being able to express their grievances as well, and even promoting their business to an extent. Um, I would love for you to share one last thing, a comment, a motivator, what gets you through the day, and then we can end our discussion for today.
Well, it's my purpose. I realized that I was given a gift by the Most High. It is that of being true to myself. I speak out. Sometimes whatever forum I'm in, I speak out exactly what it is. There is something they call emotional intelligence, and I don't believe in it. I think it's a way that it is a place there to make people comply to the matrix. That's the way. So that means if you have a friend and the friend probably has a little body odor, you cannot even talk to the friend that you have to be diplomatic. Yes, you have to be diplomatic, but you have to inform the friend. You understand? There is no two ways about it. You have to call the person up and tell them, hey, I have noticed that happening. So try to do that. You can do it. All right. This is we need to be communicating. Very yeah. People may not sometimes when what you say, because the truth will always offend, but they will may respect. And I'd rather be like I am not so I do not subscribe to
Okay, then. Um, Thank you so much. 15 minutes to the hour over 12 though. The Surface Solution, of course, the East of the Caribbean. This is where I say thank you so much. It has been an interesting conversation, a pleasure as well to have you. And this is not the first encounter. I'm looking forward to bring you back after as well. Moving forward to engage our listeners as well and our online viewers. All those again who shared in, I want to say thank you so much. Do have yourself a productive Wednesday. To you as well, Mr. Xavier, King Kakal, if I have to correct myself, I say have a blessed and fantastic day as well as a productive week. Enjoy that. And again, thank you.
Thank
you. Yes. Stay motivated, stay grounded,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Sure.
Yes, bye-bye.
You asked for more live and relevant talk shows, and we heard you. 88.5 Soufriere FM presents